All right, hi everybody. My name is Kelton Levy with Roadware Incorporated, and this is our first live stream. I hope it works. Hope you can see me. Anyways, today with our 10-minute concrete mender frequently asked questions live video, I'm going to answer questions about Roadware 10-minute concrete mender that we get all the time. So here we go. 1, how big a crack can I fix? Well, we can pick just about any side of crack in concrete that you want to do. We can go from tiny hairline to multiple feet, depth or width or length. It really doesn't matter. It all depends on the technique you use. For tiny little hairlines, we have a little easy injection system where we can drill a small hole, push the mixer in with the seal and pump in product as far as 2 feet deep. Or for bigger cracks that are a foot across, we can mix it up in a bucket and pour it out. It works the same way. You can go in depths and lifts and things like that. So it just matters of technique. There's really no limit. Can I use 10-minute concrete mender for an overlay? Well, 10-minute concrete mender was developed to be a crack repair product to go deep into a crack, go through the sidewalls of the concrete, grab onto the rock, and create an incredible bonding concrete repair product that doesn't get brittle. That's what 10-minute concrete mender is, and that's what microdolling is, and we'll talk about that some other time. But I don't like to use it for an overlay because it really wasn't designed for that. It cures very fast. It would be hard. It's hard to get it very, very smooth and get the look you want. And the other part of not using it for an overlay is that there are better products out there for it, actually. And concrete mender is just not hard enough to make a nice scratch-resistant surface. So we don't use it for overlays, but we do use it for the crack repair and spall repair underneath overlays. That's great. And also we use it for filling little pits in before you're polishing concrete, but that gets into more advanced things. But for an overlay, concrete mender, it can be done, but I don't recommend it once again. How about using concrete mender in a freezer? Yes, frozen food warehouse and cold storage warehousing is a big market for Roadware 10-minute concrete mender. We can make repairs down to -30 Fahrenheit, just has a little bit different techniques, which you go over on the website. Maybe we'll even do a whole video just about that. But yes, you can use concrete mender in a freezer at operating temperature. We don't like to warm them up and make repairs. That's really not the way to go. We want the freezer to be in full operation while we make the repairs. That way we can make it in a nice solid manner that's going to bond well and handle the traffic that you have in a frozen food warehouse, which is very tough. And so yes, we can do freezers and cold storage, no problem with concrete mender. What's the shelf life for Roadware 10-minute concrete mender? Well, it's about a year from the factory. And if you needed to have, let's say you have a partially open container, you want to be able to cap those off, keep the partially open containers that you only use half of it, let's say, and put that in a nice climate-controlled area that's dry, and you get another 6-7 months out of that. But we like to say a year out of a factory fresh materials. Let's see here. Got some more questions. Let's see, not that one. No. Here, can concrete mender be air shipped? Yes, we ship it by air all the time internationally. It's all packaged for that. It's non-IATA regulated, non-hazardous, and so you can send concrete mender by air. I like to keep it in the original factory packaging for sure, and it's labeled and marked and packaged as such, but it should not be a problem. So, where do I get the sand that we put with concrete mender? Okay, sand is what we use to extend the product, right? So 1 gallon of concrete mender makes about 2.2 gallons of repair material when you add 2 parts sand to it. So where do you get this kind of sand? Well, what we're looking for is dry, manufactured silica sand. And I like to use 40-30 grit. That's a nice medium type sandblasting sand. And you can get it at various places around the country. First place I would check would be your local Roadware distributor. They should have sand that you can use with the product, but in a pinch you can usually find it at home improvement stores like Menards or Lowe's or Home Depot. In some parts of the country, it's going to be called manufactured sand. Avoid things that are like concrete sand or play sand, things like that, because those sands are probably going to be wet. If it comes in a plastic bag, it's probably going to be wet, right? So you're looking for things in the nice, commercial paper bags. Quickcrete has a nice sand to it, and there's various ones around the country. But if you need help, give us a call. We'll help you find and direct you to the right kind of sand. You can also use be called quartz or manufactured quartz. That works great as well. Let's see here. Can I reuse the mixer? Oh, we get this question a lot. I'll say so when your 10-minute concrete mender cartridges, it has a mixer on top of it, right? It's called a static mixer. It's about this long. And you can make repairs with that. And let's say you're done with the repairs and you want to save the cartridge. The mixer has material in it that's going to cure in about 10 minutes, and it's going to lock up that mixer. And so I wouldn't recommend redoing that at all, right? You just throw those away and your new one comes, get a new mixer. You got 3 extras in every case, and your Roadware distributor will have more of those. Can I buy Concrete Mender to repair my driveway? Well, here's the situation about driveways, okay? Now, generally, driveways are not constructed with the highest degree of engineering, right? So not a lot of rebar in them. They're fairly thin. So when a driveway cracks across the whole driveway, or at least across a section of it, that's pretty much an open break, and from season to season, that crack is gonna move. It's gonna wanna move, right? So we could take Concrete Mender, we could clean that out, we could lock that thing back up, but chances are, the next season rolls around, you go from a hot summer to a cold winter, and that concrete is gonna move and it's gonna re-crack again, either at the repair or adjacent to it, which is usually like a parallel crack, and so we don't want that to happen and make it worse, right? So generally for driveways, I like to say you want something softer, like a caulking material that's gonna allow that to move, and there's lots of good ones in the market out there. You can get them at Home Depot or Lowe's or at places like that, or your construction supply store, or even your Roadware distributor. But for Concrete Mender and driveways, most of the time I would say no, but there's exceptions to everything, right? So it could be an exception. You're gonna do like an overlay over your whole driveway, like the decorative micro top overlays. Yes, then yeah, you can put Concrete Mender in there, allows you to stabilize things and understand why it cracked, and then there won't be much chance of it for re-cracking, and that's a good idea. Same goes with pool decks or anything outdoors. Now keep in mind, Roadware 10-minute Concrete Mender comes out, black, cures gray, right? But in the UV sunlight over time, that gray is it's because it's a polyurethane, it's gonna yellow up and turn yellow on you and not look very nice. So we don't like to use it in situations like your sidewalk, your driveway or something like that, because it would turn yellow. And if you do that, make sure you coat over with something else, like a micro top overlay, like I was speaking, because we don't want to have that looking like that. Let's see here. Can I inject Concrete Mender into cracks and delaminations? That is a great question, and we get it all the time. So we developed a system called the Concrete Mender Easy Injection System, which is a special mixture which we can drill a small hole into a crack, and we put the gun into it, and then we can inject it right into the little cracks like this under a little bit of pressure. So basically you're doing just as good a job as epoxy injection into that crack, right? But you don't have to have ports, you don't have to glue them in place, you don't have to have a big expensive pump. It's all done with a hand kit, and it works great, and we've done repairs down to 24 inches of concrete. It'll go all the way down and come back up and make the repairs. So we're gonna do a whole video on that later, but just saying yes, we can do that. Let's see, a couple more questions here. Where can I buy 10-minute Concrete Mender? Well, we sell Roadware 10-minute Concrete Mender through our distribution network throughout the United States and the world. We like to find distributors they'll stock the product and train people how to pick the products and use the products and things like that. And so we don't sell them online or things like that, where you can just call them up on Amazon and get the product. No, because you need a little more training, right? Because this is a very, very thin product. It can get away from you if you're not careful. It's reactive. And so 10-minute Concrete Mender needs a little more care than that. It needs a little more hands-on at first. And so it's not hard to use 10-minute Concrete Mender, but it takes a little training, and that's why we have expert distributors around the country in just about every state, and certainly all the big major cities where you can find 10-minute Concrete Mender. You can find a distributor on our website at concretemender.com. On the right-hand column, it says, find my local distributor. You click on that. You can type in your address or even just your zip code, and it'll pop you up a little map. It shows where your closest distributor is. That's good for the United States and Canada, and the rest of the world. There'll be another section. Just send us an email, send us your location. We'll direct you to an international distributor that can help you out. We're in pretty much most places of the world, so we can help you out as needed as well. How much Concrete Mender do I need to make a repair? Another good question, and because you're adding sand to Concrete Mender, right? So let's say you have 1 gallon of Concrete Mender, you have the sand that makes 2.2 gallons of Concrete Mender. How much do I really need to fix this crack, which is different sizes, different widths, and things like that? How do you estimate that? We developed a thing called the Roadware Estimator program, and it is on the website. And you need to go in the left column. It says Roadware Estimator. Click on that. You type in the length, the width, the depth of your crack, and how much sand you're going to put in the Concrete Mender, which is generally 2 to 1. And then I'll tell you out mathematically how much Concrete Mender you're probably going to need in cartridges and in gallons in total, mixed with sand and whatnot. So it's great. We have also a version in there for U.S. or English. Standard U.S. English measurements, and also metric. So that'll help you out with that situation and help you figure out how much product you need. Can I fix cracks in my basement? Another great question, and that's a tricky one because generally we don't like to use 10-minute Concrete Mender in residential basements. I turn people down on that a lot because, one, it's not designed to be a water stop, and also if you're not trained to do it properly and you have a wet crack or something like that, concrete mender can develop a little bit more, a stronger smell in the basement, and people don't like to have that in their house. So, excuse me, we generally don't do that. But we have good news. After user development, we developed the Concrete Mender VO line, which is a 100% solids, no VOC concrete mender that has virtually no smell to it. And so, yeah, that'll work in a basement. It's a different product. We're going to do another video on that soon, and so we're going to tell you all about it. But I can't wait to tell you because that just came out in January this year, and we're real excited about it. So, anyways, that wraps up my Q&A session and our first Roadware Live section here, video. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.